Welcome to the Wellness with Delaney podcast. I am sitting down with Christie Johnson today. She is the founder of one of my favorite stores, actually. So she's the founder of Purpose and then Sincere by Purpose and Purpose Men. So it's a really incredible brand that does a lot, not only to help us feel confident and beautiful, but to help end human trafficking. And I'm so excited to get into all the nitty gritty about the brand, about wellness, about finding balance in your life with her. She has a really awesome story that we are going to share today. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. I'm so excited about this conversation.
Oh my
So
gosh,
thanks for having me.
me too. I'm so excited. Thanks for coming on. So, can we just get into the origin story of how you started Purpose?
Absolutely. So 11 years ago, 11 and a half years ago, I was a mom of two small kids, 1 and 3, and my husband, full-time military, like submarine officer, and living 3,000 miles away from home for us, which is the Carolinas. So we're in our first duty station. We're young. We've got our first two little kiddos, and a huge part of my story, every part of my life really is connected to my faith. And so I just had this desire to do something a little, like, break the mold a little bit, do something a little different. I didn't know what that looked like, but I knew I wanted my life to have a bigger purpose beyond myself. And I also knew that I loved shopping, I loved clothing, I loved fashion, and I felt like that was a little bit vain. And so when you think, like, as a Christian, and then you're like, I want to make a difference, but I really love shopping and I love clothes, they almost don't feel like they go together. And I felt like God gave me a very clear picture of how those two could come together and make a difference. And that was Purpose. So Purpose, I launched it in my living room. And the whole idea around it was my love for people, style, and fashion paired with a bigger purpose. So I had girlfriends come over to my living room and shop. I opened a little boutique there. They would shop. I would donate honestly, at that point, I didn't even know about money or business. I'm just like, oh, I'll just donate the money, donate it to charity. And that was Purpose, like the beginning ideas of it. And then a couple months would go by, and I realized through, the government that it's illegal to have a boutique in your living room. So you can't do that. So it kind of forced me to open my first store. And that was just an unbelievable blessing to go from, like, okay, this is small, I can control it in my store, and now I've got to step out into some fear, into some unknown, and launch my first storefront. And I found a little place in Bremerton, downtown Bremerton. Not a lot of foot traffic, not a great place to start your first store, but the money was really good. Like, the investment, all of that just made sense, and it was honestly calculated risk over time that got me to a place of now today. There's 8 stores. We are donating tons of money to fight human trafficking now through our customers. Like, just these little steps forward to just, honestly, just faithfulness to the business, learning my customers, learning the mission of what we want to do. It has just grown more than I could have ever imagined. So that's the story. And there's a lot, obviously, in the 11 years of learning and growing, but that's where we are. And to date, we've donated $450,000 to organizations that fight human trafficking. And now we've also included locally a foster care organization that works with foster families, because you're going to find that a lot of foster kids, they're kind of that first line that they're more likely to get trafficked. So we really want to go into that preventative support. So that's what we do.
That is so amazing. I actually didn't know that you guys started in your house. That is incredible. And it goes to show you never know where something could go if you take that leap of faith and you step out in faith and know that God's got you. And I love how you said, like, you felt like it was vain to love fashion so much and pursue it, but you wanted a purpose. And I think that's the thing, when you are spiritually tuned in, there is a level where nothing is surface level, nothing is vain. Anything can be a spiritual calling, even and especially fashion. I think fashion is a beautiful thing. So
Mhm.
for you, like, being someone who loves shopping and fashion and all things kind of beauty, beautifying yourself as a woman, like, how does presenting yourself fashionably impact your confidence?
I think that anytime you look good and feel good, it shows up. I don't even know. I've thought for years about like how to explain this or describe this, but then I think about just beauty to its core. I think, like, okay, if we have a creator, God created the earth. I mean, He created the most beautiful things. Beauty matters. to God. And so I think beauty holds value in and of itself. And some of our culture, like a pendulum will swing, right? Like too much focus on beauty and there's no substance, like that's not good. And then too much focus the other way, and then you just start to kind of feel worse. And if you don't take care of yourself, if you don't get dressed and fix your hair and just kind of put yourself together, you just feel worse. So it goes hand in hand with confidence for sure, but just your overall well-being. um yeah, I don't know if I explained that well, but it's just a truth.
Yeah. Well, and
Just
God created women as the beautiful gender. I mean, there's a reason I think that men are the ones that kind of adore the women, right? And I think in
yeah,
a really balanced
yeah,
relationship,
it's
we
like
we
keeps
are
the
the
wheel
beautiful.
going around.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
So, with that being said, how do you embrace your femininity in the day to day? Like, what tips do you have for some of the younger women out there that really want to step into that God given, divine, like femininity?
Okay, so we can go the faith route in this?
Oh, absolutely. We're
Okay.
on the same page, so
Okay,
absolutely.
awesome. I love that because I think that if you look at culture, there was there's such a time where women were like, wait, we feel like we're not being valued. Like we feel like we're being undervalued because we were being undervalued. Like, but then, like I said, pendulums will swing. And so I think women kind of stepped in and they're like, wait, we need to be equal. And I do believe that God created us so incredibly well. Like, think about what women can do. We are so powerful. We're really powerful, though, when we can embrace that femininity. Like, we can birth children. We run our families and our homes. Our husbands men need us. They need to hear from us. We have wisdom, we have experience, we're feelers and empaths. We have so many amazing gifts. And I think if you lean into that and you see those as strengths and not something that makes you less than, if you don't try to become like men, because men need to be men. Let the men be the men. But you fully being a woman is so empowering. You're not less than if you're doing the things that we women are naturally good at. You're just living out your full calling. So I think there's a wonderful place for women in business. There's a wonderful place for women in leadership. And I also think that we're also responsible, like men need us. So we have a voice into our husbands or our significant others and into our families. Like we build up men, we build up our children, we build up other people. So I think femininity is the greatest gift. And if we use it well and we use it the way God designed it to be, we have an equality to men in the sense that our value is the same, but we do have different roles.
Mhm.
I don't know if that makes
Absolutely.
sense. I hope that makes
Yes.
sense. Sometimes I get going and I'm like, I hope I'm not just talking. Hope that connects.
No, I mean, I wanna hear what you have to say, and it totally connects. You know, women, we are life bringers, and we are nurturers, and we are, like you said, we're not little men. And even from a health standpoint, when we start treating ourselves like men and how we work out, how we operate, it wrecks our hormones. I mean, even
Yeah.
biologically, our bodies reject that
Mm,
like masculine lifestyle because we are meant for something different, and that's something
yeah.
I'm super passionate about as well. So I love that. And there is kind of a war on femininity. I think that we can see that in the culture. There has been in different ways for a long time. And one way I think that the enemy traps women is through this comparison insecurity game where we're looking at social media, we're looking at ads on TV, and we're constantly feeling like we're not enough. And we see that in the fashion and beauty industry so much. One thing I love about your brand is the way you guys market in a way that doesn't prey off of insecurity, but it brings women in. It makes women feel like they're part of a family, and like beauty and fashion is like something to be enjoyed versus
Mhm.
something that we have to chase after in order to be enough, and then the next trend comes and we don't have that. So like
Mhm.
how has empowering women impacted and shaped the way you operate your brand from a marketing standpoint, even like the clothes you select?
But yes. Oh, that's such a good question. I would say that what makes a woman the most beautiful, honestly, is confidence and personality. You could take the most perfect, gorgeous woman, and she's head to toe perfect, and there's no flaw, physical flaw. And if she is someone that does not make other people feel special, if she's someone that doesn't know how to make fun of herself and laugh and bring people in, she loses a lot of that attractiveness. I think what you find, hopefully, with purpose marketing is you see, okay, these girls are having fun. They want you to feel like you're a part of it. They want you to feel like this is very attainable for you as well, and hopefully make you laugh a little bit. We make fun of ourselves. I think that that's so attractive. That's what true beauty is, and it really starts with that confidence and humility. Don't take yourself too seriously, and your personality, when it can just come out confidently and, make fun of yourself, build other people up, make other people around you have fun and feel special. That's the most attractive thing you can do.
Absolutely. It's like that inside out glow. And yeah, confidence does, it elevates attractiveness so much across the board, men and women. It's so
Mhm.
important. And so many are like women are walking around with their head down and not seeing their value. And it totally, I mean, it shifts things and it shifts how they're perceived. So you're so right.
Yeah. I would also say for our customers, what I love, like one thing that I tell our team as our whole goal is when a customer comes in, that we make them feel like they have a best friend immediately. And that is just welcoming them in, making them feel so like you're so excited that they're there, speaking life and encouragement into them, and then helping them through their style journey. It's so fun. It's like what a girlfriend would do. And I think in that, you're taking the focus away from yourself and putting it on someone else. So there's this idea when you're lacking self-confidence, what's actually happening, and you don't understand it, is that you have a lack of humility, because you're thinking so much of you and yourself. If you can stop and you can just take the arrow and just point it out and look at other people, that's actually how you build your confidence. And it's kind of like this oxymoron. It's like flipped upside down. So
That gave me goosebumps. I love that.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
amazing. No, and it's so true. I mean, I've heard like when you navel gaze enough, you're going to end up depressed because you're thinking, if you think about yourself too much, you will not be a happy person. And the best way to be happy is through service to others. I
yeah.
truly believe that.
And we're
Oh,
too busy. We have too much to do. We have too many people to take care of.
mhm.
I find that with my customers, that's actually not the issue. My customers are so busy. Their lives are so full that we are just there to boost their confidence a little, give them a great outfit to get through their day. And it's just this extra added boost of confidence and service. But they're already busy. We're just kind of helping them in this one area. So
That's amazing. Okay, so for the girl who, let's say there are girls who were walking into your store or something and they, they want to wear these cool loud outfits or, loud in a good way. Like these standout outfits that
yeah,
express how they feel, but they're scared to stand out or they're scared to look different and step into that. Like
yeah.
what would be your tips for kind of ripping that bandit off for women who want to wear the thing but don't feel like they can pull it off or don't feel like they should be drawing that attention?
I mean, this happens all the time. I just, honestly, though, I do encourage my customer. It's like what you feel the most comfortable in is what I want you to wear. So some people really don't want to wear something that draws a lot of attention to themselves. And I think that's okay. If they kind of want to wear it and they're scared to wear it, that's another story where you really just say, you got to go for it. It looks so good on you. It's really fun. I was just talking with a customer just a little bit ago who was like, I don't know if I can, if I don't usually do this, or like this is more basic. And I go, you can be basic in your outfit, but if you just do something a little different or fun with your top, or you just have great denim, great boots, it just sets you apart a little bit in the fashion world. And it's kind of just that next step. It's really fun. Like just try it. It's really fun to have that. I obviously look. I'm wearing like a full puff sleeve with a
Love
cable
it.
knit. Yeah, I love doing it. So I'm always going to try to talk other people into doing that.
Absolutely, yeah, so many women are like, "I wish I could dress this way, I wish I could do that," and I'm like, "You can."
You
And you know what?
can
If it
if you.
doesn't look good, whatever.
Yeah, well, if it doesn't look good, actually, one of the things that we do is if it really doesn't flatter you or look good on you, we will work until it does. So we do not put women or men in clothing that does not flatter them. So
I
you
love
can
that.
trust us with it.
I love that. Oh, you guys have, I mean, at least half my wardrobe is from Sincere or from Purpose, and
I
you guys
love
never, yeah, you never lead me astray. I spend so much money at your store, especially knowing that you're donating to anti-trafficking. I'm like, well, I can justify any amount of shopping. It's ridiculous. Okay, so with that being said, being a woman in business comes
Mhm.
with a lot. I mean, for men, I think it's way different where men are
Yeah.
expected, right, to be in career. That's kind of their role. And for women, when you are in business, there's a level of juggling that does happen naturally. You're balancing maybe being a wife or a mom or just balancing like the infradian cycle, the 28-day like hormonal cycle we live on. It's a full-time job. So, what are some of your tips for balancing like that go-getter business owner mentality lifestyle with like the softness and the femininity?
I'm going to tell you that I have probably in the last 11 and a half years have probably done it all the wrong way. And I have learned so much through the journey. So I'll just start with like starting a business when you have small children. Um, as a mom, as a wife, like in your role, those are, I truly believe, the most important roles. There was a season in starting Purpose where I really worked way too much. I mean, it was a couple of years where I worked way too much. It does take that to get something really off the ground. So there's a season where you're doing that. I feel like God really covered a lot of the gaps for me. I mean, there's a lot of grace there. I had an incredible nanny who was gifted in ways that I'm not, that my kids got to experience with her. But I would go back and probably do that a little differently. I would have prioritized a lot more time with my kids. I think now, and I do believe now I'm learning um, truly working through people and others is everything. So building a team as you grow in business is everything, and not just delegating tasks to people. If you're building a business, you need someone to come alongside you. I was just talking about this today with my right hand person. It was like, if you're a boss, your whole job is to make the people around you feel as important as they are, and to constantly be brainstorming with them and inviting them into your vision so that they can lead with you. You're not the boss of all these people and they're all just doing what you tell them to do. You're building something together. So you're sharing your vision, they're catching the vision, and they're running with departments. That really changes the game for women in business when you really understand that. It will help because the time and the energy and the stress and all of that can take you out. So if you don't learn a lot
Mhm.
of these things early on, I just this past year we launched 4 stores in 1 year. We've never done that before. It was probably one of my hardest years in business, and I ended up 2 days after Sincere by Purpose, your store that you're talking about.
Love her.
2 days after that store opened, and that, I mean, I was so proud of that. So proud of the new men's store. It was beautiful. The work that went in it was amazing. I was driving there, and all of a sudden I felt my body just completely shutting down. And I was driving, so I start panicking, and I am like, oh no, something's really wrong with me. I'm able to pull over. I get these waves of like terror coming over me, and I thought, oh no, I'm having a heart attack. Like I'm having a stroke or a heart. I don't know what it is, but I think I'm about to die. Like really. I remember praying and my mind was there, but my body was just it was freaking out. And I got to a gas station. I called my husband. I said, something's really wrong with me. Please call an ambulance. And I hung up. And after I got off the phone with him, I had what I now know was a massive panic attack. So my hands curled in, my face went like slack. I mean, just every part of my body was just done. And it passed, went over me. Scariest thing in the world. Came out of it. I wasn't dead. Thank goodness. The ambulance shows up, the fire department shows up and check my vitals. They're like, you are fine. They're like, so this was probably a panic attack. And after that, my life has changed so much because I learned that if you don't take care of stress, go, 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 never stop. I mean, I'm somebody that wouldn't sit down to watch a TV show. I'm somebody that works all day, gets home. My house is perfect. Everything has to be perfect. I have to control everything. A lot of issues there that I have to unpack in counseling. But I went to a functional health doctor and I got hormones tested, full blood work, had the whole thing done because I'm like something, I mean, it was a wake up call for me, and found out in full adrenal fatigue. This is from years and years of chronic stress. All my hormones totally off, totally whack. So ever since then, I am like, oh, rest. You have to rest. If you do not want to end up like me, I think I'm literally the nightmare story because it was years of just going and going and going that got me there. The unfortunate side of that, I think, is that purpose is very successful and it took some of that to get there. So I'm kind of looking back and going, okay, it almost killed me. Was it worth it to be where I am now? And I would say no. What I'm learning is that the time that I take to rest and stop and like do a Sabbath or sit down and take a nap, I feel like I'm more productive now since then than I was all of those years. So I think I missed the mark so much by not resting, truly resting. I almost would say purpose would maybe be even more successful if I had done it the other way.
Right, a more sustainable approach. I mean, when you're refreshed, you can do
Yeah.
so much more with that energy versus if you're already, trying to pour from an empty cup, like not
Mhm.
much is going to come out. That is a beautiful story and an encouragement for others, I think. Cuz I mean, it's hard and I don't want people to go through like what you went through, and I'm so sorry that happened. And
Yeah.
I hope that this can be a warning, I guess, to women
Yeah.
who, I don't want to say warning, but like an example, like if you don't prioritize rest, if you don't prioritize your spiritual health, just
Yes.
slowing down, like
Mhm.
just slowing down and being,
Yes.
it's not going to help you personally or in your business. And I love what you said about like, I think I could have done more if I rested. People don't have that mentality. They think more is more, but sometimes less is more. So looking now what you're doing and how you're, since
Yeah.
getting your hormones tested and finding out you're in adrenal fatigue and this journey you've been on for the past almost year, what are
Yes.
some of the differences in your lifestyle and how you operate now from before?
Well, I would definitely say the supplements and hormone. Like I'm turning 40 like next week. So
Happy
right,
birthday.
right, thank you. Right on the cusp of perimenopause. So if you're my age, go get your hormones tested. It is a game changer when those are leveled. And then I would say, yeah, a lot of health and wellness. I mean, I have learned so much about food and exercise. Even though I did CrossFit regularly, like a pretty fit person, also pretty healthy person. Um, just even those high intensity workouts, realizing that spikes cortisol. So kind of slow it down, go into some lifting, do some walking. It's better for like lowering that your central nervous system, like calming it down. One thing that I do now is I would never do this before, but like on a Sunday, I try to pick a good 24-hour time in the week where I legit Sabbath. Like I lay down on my couch now after church on Sunday and watch an entire football game and doze off and wake up. And like there's something in me that goes, I have to fight it with everything I have. There's something in me that goes, that's lazy. That's wrong. You need to be productive. That's the hardest thing for me to like go, no, 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 that's a lie. The lie is that this is lazy and wrong. The truth is you need a rest. Your body needs it. So I have made so many changes like that. Supplements, diet, eating really clean. It's so important for all of your metabolic health. So things like that I would say are really important that I don't think, oh, don't drink alcohol. That's a big one. I know that alcohol has kind of crept into society, and especially women. Women, I think, turning to wine. There was a lot of years where I would have like wine in the evenings, not even realizing that it's doing the opposite of what you think it's doing. So I would say, cut out alcohol. You do not need that in your life. You're going to feel so much better if you don't um, consume that or eat processed foods, all of those things. So I keep
Amazing.
rambling. So I'm trying to
No,
cut myself off.
no, that's amazing. You know, the Sabbath is the command that God really gave for us, right? Like, man was not made for the Sabbath was made for man, and it's something, it's like a gift. And, you know,
Yes. Yeah.
the way God designs us in the world is so perfect. And it's like, yeah, it makes sense that He would tell us we need to rest because we're only human. We're not God. And even God rested. I mean, we
I
need
know.
that.
There's a reason it's a command. It's probably one of
Mhm.
our biggest cultural misses, especially in the Western world. Like if you travel to Europe, if you go to any other culture, they are so good at sitting down for a meal, even like taking a coffee. You won't see people in Europe walking around with like a Starbucks coffee cup. They sit
Mhm.
down, they take their coffee. It's like it's a part of the day.
Yeah.
It's rest is built into the culture. We do not have rest built into our culture.
Mhm. Yeah, little things like sitting down, enjoy your espresso, like, as you're seated. You don't need to work. You can just taste it.
I
It
mean, I'm
varies the
still
senses.
terrible. I'm still like, I'm
Same.
probably, yeah,
We
I'm
are.
probably
No,
10% when I need to be 100% on the rest
mhm.
scale, but a little bit makes a huge difference. So
Absolutely. It's a journey. So, okay, you mentioned perfectionism was definitely something that you're working through. Do you have any tips for women who currently feel like they're caught in that perfectionism performative loop?
I would say that I think a lot of it, some of it is actually very good and it's given. It's a gift. If you are somebody that's a perfectionist, there's a piece of that that will always be there. It's a part of who you are, and it's actually going to drive excellence in your life. So I think having that is not bad. I think um, when it becomes a god, when it becomes it has to be for you to be happy and okay, that's when you have the problem. And I think I haven't fully figured this out, but it's something this year where I'm trying to figure it out when it's happening to me. I'm somebody that walks into my house, and if anything is out of place, and I have kids, I have teenagers, they're going to leave things out. I have to take a deep breath, and I still say, "Hey, Georgia and Arthur, come pick up your shoes. Come get your stuff." I'm still like, "Let's get it clean." But there's a difference in, can I function in this? If it stays, can I be okay? That's the test. And I am not healed of that one yet, but I'm working on it.
Girl, same.
I'm like,
Literally same.
no. I think sometimes when you know your flaws, like the humility piece of like, I know that this is wrong. Like I know that that's the first step, and that's how you can begin.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I'm really learning that. My daughter is 13 and she is the messiest child I have ever met in my life. And my friends will tell you, like, she's so messy. She's so cute. She's so fun. She's creative. I mean, she's wonderful, but she's so messy. And that's like my biggest pet peeve. So that is why she's my daughter. I'm
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. Like
God was teaching you.
she'll want to cook something in the kitchen. And I literally, my insides are like, you're going to bake, you're going to cook. I'm like, because I know that afterwards it's going to be, if I want it the way I want it, it's I've got a mop, because she'll clean, but she will never clean up to my standards.
That is so real. Well, and
Yeah.
God totally does like give us the challenge we need to grow.
Yeah.
And
So
I
funny.
relate to that so heavily. I'm the same way with the home, like with my husband, and he's been working from home more. And I'm like, I'm going crazy
Yeah.
because I need it to be perfect. And he's like, we live here. And I'm like, no, we don't. What do you mean?
No. And I do, I still think there's a piece of it that's good. So if you have
Yeah.
this trait, um, God has it for a reason. I know at purpose, for us, it's in our culture where make it better is a value for us.
Love
The
that.
fact that um, nothing is ever done or good enough, not in the sense that we can't be extremely proud and celebrate, but with the idea that we always have something we can make better. So any system, any process, whatever it is, it's not something we can't take and ruffle up and make it better. And so that's why it exists.
I love that so much, and it shows. I mean, when people come into your store, they do feel like they feel relaxed, at ease, and they're having fun. I mean, it's the culture, the way you set up, even just the physical, like the cleanliness, the way things are designed to be beautiful. It is a really great positive experience, and I think that shows through all your hard work. So I just want to commend you there. I mean,
Oh,
I
thank
spend
you.
a lot of time in your stores. It's ridiculous.
Thank you. Thank you.
Of
I
course.
love that. Yeah, the team purpose is so amazing because of the team that we have. And when you're in one of those stores, there's a leader of that store with an incredible team that they all care so much, and they live out the mission and vision of purpose every day. It's because of them. It's amazing. They're rock stars, all of them.
Absolutely. And, something like we kind of touched on before that is amazing that you guys do that's so different is you do give back to anti-human trafficking efforts and make sure that giving back is a huge part of what you do. Would you mind sharing a little bit how you became passionate about anti-human trafficking and what you guys are doing for that and the foster system and all of that?
Absolutely. So the start of purpose with giving back, I started with just like World Vision or organizations that help children, and then I had a friend come alongside me and talk through like the actual clothing industry and what it looks like. And we get our clothing from manufacturers overseas, and without really getting into it because that's a whole it's like opening a can of worms. There's so many things in that. But this idea that around the world, women do not have the opportunities that we have here in America. And when they are going to work and not able to make a living wage, um, I've traveled all over. I've traveled to India, China, Thailand, like two red light districts, two places where women are selling their bodies. And I've actually talked to the women. I mean, I've been in Thailand in the bars where they are there to sell themselves, and sat down and chatted with women. And they will say, "Oh, I would love to be a hairstylist, or I would love to have another job." They are doing this work, this terrible, degrading, I mean, like the lowest of jobs. Like they're doing this because they don't have an option for dignified work. Like that is heartbreaking if you think about that. And so when I saw that, I was like, oh, we have got to do something. We have got to go beyond just donating money. We need to figure out how to use business to change lives, like actually giving women opportunity to work and have dignified work to make a living. And so this kind of started that idea for me, and like women working in factories even to make your clothing. They're not making enough money to support their families if you think about that. So that got me connected to Atlas Free, which used to be Rescue Freedom, but they partner in so many incredible ways with safe homes all over the world. And these safe homes not only are involved in the rescue and this like the safe home part of a woman's journey that's being freed from trafficking, what they do from there is they take her, I provide her with counseling, job opportunities, education, so that she then can learn a skill, can then go on, have dignified work, and then build her family and live out the life that God wants for her to live. And so that is why my heart is in the trafficking side. And then the preventative side of that is realizing that a lot of the trafficking world, I think people think, oh, someone just got kidnapped off the street and they're now being trafficked. It's more likely that it's someone that's been manipulated into it. So it's like an older boyfriend, or it's somebody that manipulates a young, vulnerable girl or boy, and kind of coerces them in, builds this trust, and then starts to traffic them that way. And so you really want to get in early with that preventative care and that preventative outreach. So that's kind of support in the foster care system.
That's incredible. Do you have any like tips on resources or documentaries or like anything that if somebody's listening to this and they're like, I didn't really know this was a big issue. I want to know more about how, the fashion industry contributes, all these things. Do you have anything that you'd recommend people read or watch or look like research so
I
that they
would
can learn?
I would say actually go to Atlas Free, and they're going to have a lot of resources, and even reach out to them on how you can get involved, because what they're doing is beyond just this idea of you kind of have an issue, right? We get a narrow mind of an issue when it's first presented to us. We're like, oh no, kids are being stolen and then trafficked. And then you get into it and you realize it's so much more complex. And so they are tackling trafficking from every single angle. So I would say go to a resource of someone that's doing it well, like Atlas Free, because there's documentaries and there's movies out there, and they'll say, okay, this part is true and good, this part maybe not so much, it's more dramatized. But they have this beautiful analogy, and I use it all the time, that it's kind of like a river flowing. And if you think about a river flowing and there's people in this river, and it's like there's different spots on the river, right? There's the top of the river where someone is taking people and throwing them into it. And then they're going down through the river, which is terrible. And then at the end, there's the waterfall where they're going to fall off. And then at the end, you have the rescue. So it's like there's so many places on the river where you could be a part of fighting human trafficking. And if you can understand it, then you can find your place on the river. So it's like, are you rescue? Are you post care? Are you preventative? If you view it that way, everyone can get involved at some level. So
That's amazing. Yeah, and I think that for some people, like, people feel like you aren't giving back unless you're like out in the field, right? But like if you are
right.
blessed financially, that's also another way that God blesses people. I talk about this with my husband all the time. I'm like, I don't feel called to be out, like be a missionary overseas, but I do feel called to send people and, to use my money. And so I think that people can feel like just because they're here, there's nothing they can do. It's like, no, you vote with your dollars. So if you support companies that are giving back and companies that
Yeah.
don't use these practices, you're telling the market what you want. And B, I mean, if you're blessed financially, even if you're in the comfort of your own home, there are ways that you can give back and support those who are needing finances to go and help people. So there's so many ways to get involved, and each different part of the body is uniquely important and just like can't function without the others. So people need to know that just because they aren't on the
Yes.
field does not mean that they're not a vital part of ending the problem.
Yes, 100%. Because these organizations will tell you, you can't go over there, and beat down the doors and rescue these girls. You're not equipped for that. But you know what? You can take anything that you love and give it purpose and meaning, and put them together, and you can donate money, or you can support in other ways. So
Absolutely. Well, everyone go check out Atlas. And if you are also looking for ways to shop and change a life, shopping at Purpose is a great way to do that because they make sure that your money also goes towards these charities and really just makes an impact. So I love that. So kind of on a fun, light note, and this
yes.
isn't even wellness oriented. I was just curious when I wrote this question down. What are some of the upcoming fashion trends that we can look
Ooh.
forward to?
Okay, that's so fun. I think that we just came out of, I don't know if you noticed, it's very feminine. Did you notice like
I love
bows?
it.
A lot of bows,
Yes.
a lot of ruffles. Like spring, because we've already done spring buying. Like you buy a whole season in advance. You kind of really know what's coming down the pipeline. If you're not into bows and ruffles and all that fun stuff, that is fine. There are plenty of incredible basic trends that are coming for you too that are awesome. But jeans, I'm so into the denim styles right now. There are so many that you can do that are really fun. My favorite, and people are not loving it, and I just need to get the right ones for people to love because I'm obsessed, is the barrel. The barrel jean comes in so many different like shapes and sizes. You don't have to have, like I have one that's a full horseshoe barrel. It comes all the way up
Wow.
the side, on the sides. Then there's like a baby barrel, like a little balloon barrel, but that's a cool, really cool denim trend. I want people to get on board with it because it just looks so cool. All of your wide legs are really in. I'm loving like a super wide, like a tight waist, super wide. One thing I'm not loving that's coming back is mid rise and low rise denim. It's coming back. You've really really leaned into the high rise. So thankfully high rise is still in, but I'm trying to test out a little bit more of that mid rise because it's in on trend.
Mhm.
Cardigans as shirts, a lot of the little tie front top
Love those.
pieces. Your One of the fun things with footwear that's happened is the sneaker and tennis shoe has been really hot and strong, and they're so comfortable. So I love that trend. That's really strong right now. Um, yeah, any if you ask me a specific, I can give you more. You can tell
Oh,
I love fashion. But
I have to ask for my audience, are
yeah,
skinny jeans back?
skinny jeans they can work, yes. So you
Okay.
can do your skinny jean is back. And the cool thing about it is that also so are all the other styles. So it's not like you're going straight to skinny jeans. Like when skinny jeans were in, it's all we wore. Like you could only wear the
Mhm.
skinny jean. And a lot of my customers never even got out of the skinny jean. Once they got in it, they're like, I'm not getting out of it. And so it is back. It's good. I think it's not skinny. I think it's more straight
Oh,
leg.
good. Okay.
So not
Because
like
I can't wear them. I don't look good in 'em, but
I don't
happy
think
for
it's
everyone
like
else.
jegging skinny. I think that's
Yeah.
not in. But if you do a straight that's pretty fitted all the way down, it's like corduroy.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. I now that looser jeans are a thing, I really love it. I like to be able to eat my
Yeah.
cheese in my jeans and I like
Yeah.
to move. I actually have this pair of like sparkly jeans that I got from Sincere and I got them with my mom and she was like, I had jeans like this when I was a kid. I'm like, well,
Wait,
they're
which
back.
ones did you get? Sparkly, which ones?
The
The
pistola, the
that
rhinestones.
do you know that that's a barrel?
Is it really?
You
Okay,
have
I'm
a
gonna share a photo when I share this
Yes.
podcast
So
on
you're
social
in
media.
an adorable baby barrel with the rhinestone. Yes.
I didn't even know I was trendy. Okay, that's
Totally
exciting.
trendy. Yeah.
Love that. Okay, what are some colors that we can look out for this spring, like hot colors?
Oh my goodness. I actually don't have my Pantones in front of me. Let's see, what am I seeing a lot of? Um, a lot of bright colors.
Okay.
I'm noticing that they're kind of carrying like the olives and the like burgundy maroons. Like red is really hot. Red all season is hot. So I think that's going to carry us through spring, like bright red. That's fun. Um, and I'm so sorry I don't have all of them. They actually we're leaving to buy. We do a lot of buying trips, but we always go with the color palette, like
I
prep, and I don't have
love
it in
that.
front of me. So
That's okay. Well, you guys, if you're listening and you want to know, you better head to Purpose and see what they're
there
picking
you
up
go.
for the next season. I'm glad to hear red is still in because I've been buying a lot of red from your stores. I bought
That is so fun.
so much. So I
Yeah,
love red right now. It's so spicy and like,
red, nautical. Yeah, lots of
yeah.
stripes. Stripes are
Okay.
like stripes never went away, but when you go nautical, it's really fun. Yeah.
Super cute. Okay, love that. So, and then I always love to ask, I love to hear from people who are experts in their fields.
Mhm.
What are your current health and wellness goals, and what are you doing to tackle them?
Okay, well, right now, my whole health and wellness goal is to get my adrenals healthy. So I am doing I've recently just read Good Energy by Dr. Casey Means, and then a lot of like the fasting books, like on how great intermittent fasting is. So I am incorporating fasting right now, which is for cellular, like getting into autophagy. I think that heals hormones. It heals a lot of your body. So doing that. So I intermittent fast pretty much daily. I try to eat clean. I'm not doing any sugar, which I'm really proud of. Um, and exercise, it's huge. I'm reincorporating CrossFit. I took a break and just was doing a lot of walking and just minor lifting. Now I'm going to get back into some of that, raise my heart rate. So those are
Amazing.
the goals. I just really want to be the healthiest version of myself, starting from the inside, and it will show on the outside.
That's amazing. And what a great example for other women as a woman in business to be prioritizing your health and wellness spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally. Like, it's also
Yes,
important.
yes, yes.
Hey, well, I love that. Well, can you let the audience know where they can find you, where they can find your stores, or if they don't live in Washington, where they can shop online?
Okay, yes, you can find Purpose at purposeboutique.com. That's our website. I'm on social media. My personal social is not really, I'm Christie Purpose, so it's connected. But we're a Purpose Boutique, Purpose Men, and at Sincere by Purpose. So we have the 3 brands within Purpose. And if you're in the Washington area, you should come to a store because that's the best experience. And we have 2 Purposes on the east side in Totem Lake and downtown Kirkland. Then we have 3, one of each brand in Tacoma, Point Reston. So you have Sincere by Purpose, Purpose Boutique, and Purpose Men. And then in Silverdale, where I live, we have the same trifecta, the same 3. So
Amazing. Well, I'll be back for sure. And I definitely want to encourage the audience, if you are local, check out a store. And if you're not, just check out their website and do a little browse. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to Purpose or myself as far as getting connected. You guys, thank you so much for listening today. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Christy, thank you so much for joining me. I loved this conversation with you.
oh, you're welcome. Thank you. I had so much fun. I felt like I just kind of just went for it, just rambled. So hopefully it's helpful.
It is so helpful. I know I'm leaving inspired, and I know the rest of the audience will as well.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.